Welcome to the PlayAbly podcast, where we dive into the art and science of gamification, customer engagement, and driving conversion. Whether you're an e-commerce brand, a marketing innovator, or just curious about the future of interactive experiences, you're in the right place. At PlayAbly, we specialize in turning passive audiences into active customers through shoppable games and playable experiences that transform how brands connect with their customers. Thanks for listening. Welcome back to the PlayAbly podcast. Today we're diving into something every brand owner wonders. Are conferences worth it? And if so, which ones should you spend your time and budget on?
Totally. Actually, for many founders, conferences are a double-edged sword. You can walk away energized and with new business, or you can feel like you just blew money on flights, hotels, and sessions. We'll walk through how to tilt toward the winners.
Let's start by comparing the big name shows with the niche ones. On the big side, you have retail/slash e-commerce standards like Shoptalk, NRF, DMEXCO Europe, and marketing/brand names like Inbound, ANA Masters of Marketing, or Gartner Marketing Summits.
These bring scale, buzz, big speakers, and exposure. But they also come with high price tags, crowded halls, and stiff competition to be noticed.
Meanwhile, niche or vertical events, e.g., fashion brand conferences, DTC summits, domain-specific e-commerce forums, tend to be smaller, more curated, and ironically often more effective for certain brands. The signal to noise is better. You can actually make real connections.
I remember one founder telling me at a big show, she spent $25,000 on a booth, swag, staff travel, and collateral, and ended up with maybe 80 real leads. But at a niche branding summit costing $5,000, she had 12 one-on-one meetings, 2 new wholesale deals, and stronger relationships that turned into longer-term revenue. The margins on those niche deals were higher because there was less discount pressure. Let's get into the numbers. There's a great framework in the conference ROI playbook for estimating returns. Your costs include ticket, travel, hotel, meals, time, and opportunity costs. Then measure leads, conversions, average deal size, gross margin, and calculate ROI. Revenue times margin minus cost divided by cost. Revenue times margin minus cost divided by cost of revenue times margin minus cost divided by cost. As a rough example, assume your total cost is $10,000 for a conference. You collect 100 qualified leads, of which 10% convert to orders, averaging $1,000 each. That's $100,000 revenue. If your gross margin is 50%, gross profit equals $50,000. Subtract costs, $10,000. Net $40,000. ROI equals 400%. That's a win.
But many events underperform, especially when leads are superficial or relationships aren't followed up. Also note that exhibiting, booth shipping, staff often costs 2 to 5 times just attending.
Exactly, and you should assume that not every contact becomes revenue immediately. Some of the ROI is long tail, partnerships, referrals, content licensing, speaking gigs, etc. Here's how I'd filter: audience match. Are your ideal buyers or partners going to be there? If yes, that event has potential. Sponsorship/visibility options. Even small events let you sponsor a track or host a workshop. That can increase your signal without doing a full booth. Curated attendee lists/exclusivity. If the event is highly selective, odds of meeting serious prospects go up. Content and breakout formats, workshops, roundtables, peer sessions are better than monologues. Track record and referrals. Ask past attendees, did they get value? Geographic or vertical advantage. If your brand is localized or niche, e.g. surfwear, sustainable goods, Pacific brands, a regional or vertical event might give you dominance rather than blending in.
I was speaking to someone who once considered sponsoring a major marketing show in LA for their app brand. The booth price was $15,000 plus travel. But before committing, they met the organizer and discovered that only 10% of the attendees were actively shopping for apps. They'd mostly compete with other software vendors. Instead, they invested that same money in sponsoring a boutique SaaS for retail micro conference in New York. They got better leads, had deeper conversations, and a few speaking slots. ROI was higher,
Attendee makeup is really important to ROI.
Can we talk about how some conferences will give away free tickets or even cover travel and hotel costs for attendees?
Yes, huge point. A lot of newer or struggling conferences will pad the room with sponsored attendees just to inflate the numbers. On paper, it looks great. 1,200 attendees, but how many of those folks are actually your buyers?
Exactly. And let's be honest, if someone took a free pass and a free trip to Vegas, are they there to buy or are they there to catch a few panels, sip free coffee, and party? Plus, it's not just the small and new conferences anymore. The big names are doing it too.
Right? And that's not to knock those people. It's smart to take free professional development, but if you're a sponsoring brand, you're footing the bill to market to a crowd that might not even be in market. They're just enjoying the competition.
I think in exchange, they make them take meetings with sponsors and vendors too, right? Imagine wasting time on a meeting trying to sell to someone who is just taking the meeting to get their trip paid for. They're not buying.
Well, I don't have to imagine because that has happened to us at a few conferences.
I had a founder friend who sponsored one of these newer TechX retail crossover events. The booth traffic was solid, but no follow through. She said it felt like Instagram engagement. A lot of drive-bys, no conversions.
That's the key. Quality over head count. When you hear we're flying in 500 handpicked buyers, ask how they were picked and whether they actually requested to be there or just said yes to a free flight.
And here's a better move. Instead of hoping people swing by your booth, host a VIP dinner or roundtable for your real prospects. Invite only your ICP. That's how you get actual signal in a room full of noise.
Or go the route some founders do. Attend, don't sponsor. Pay the couple $100 for a badge, skip the booth, and invest the rest in highly targeted meetings and follow-ups.
Bingo. Attendee does not equal buyer. Sponsored attendee does not equal qualified lead.
Attending is just half the battle. The real ROI comes from pre-event outreach. Reach out to attendees or speakers you want to meet in advance, content repurposing, record panels, blog recaps, videos, social snippets, personal follow-up within 48 hours, and send messages referencing your meeting, propose next steps, referral systems, ask your new contacts, who else should I meet? Continuity and invite them into your community newsletter, beta groups. Many brands waste 80% of value because they attended and that's it. The multiplier is in the follow through. Final action list, select 1 to 2 high potential events per year, 1 big for brand reach, 1 niche for depth. Allocate a small experimentation fund for new or emerging conferences. Before signing up, map out your goals, lead generation, partnerships, visibility, and success metrics. Plan your conference playbook, who you'll meet, which sessions, content you'll create. Yeah, check it. Post-event, follow up hard and repurpose everything.
Focus on intention, selectivity, and execution. And if you can, talk to people who have been before. Ask in forums and places like Reddit to get feedback on what people thought about paying to sponsor or attend.
Exactly. Let your next conference be a step forward, not just a box check. Start small, learn fast, and scale smart.